it's time for Toker Talk Radio, the voice of the marijuana nation.
What are you people? On dope?
Where you can toke.
I inhaled frequently.
Or you can talk.
I experimented with marijuana and didn't inhale.
Or you can toke and talk.
10 federal criminal penalties for possession of up to 1 ounce of marijuana.
While we talk about toke on Toker Talk Radio.
So, by the way, when it comes to pot, if you're 40 years old, you live in a log cabin in Oregon, you got 12 giant pot plants in your backyard, have a ball.
Live from beautiful Portland, Oregon at Rolla J Studios.
Hey, this is great.
Yes, not cannabis. Plus your calls live at 971-533-7111.
They're walking on their pants with their cap on backwards, listening to Enema Man and Snoopy Poop Dog.
What's to keep somebody from getting all potted up on weed and then getting behind the wheel?
Gateway theory doesn't work. It's a reality.
Holland, is it real? Don't tease me.
We're locking up people that take a couple of puffs of marijuana, and the next thing you know, they got 10 years.
And now, here's your host, the guru of ganja graphics, the sultan of sativa statistics, and the worst nightmare of a reefer mad prohibitionist. A polite, perspicacious, productive pothead with a propensity for PowerPoint. Radical Russ Belville.
Then we were talking about 8-bit figures, and so I thought a little bit of 8-bit video game stuff.
I like it. There's a musician called Jason Paris with Soda Vice Music. He does all the music for us. It's called like the chiptune stuff.
Yeah,
it's great. I mean, it's really I love it.
We
it's
saw
like being a video game. I gotta live the dreams of a child that I never had.
It's awesome. Hey, welcome to Toker Talk Radio, everyone. We got a full house here. I'm Radical Russ. That's Ganja Jon. That's
That's Russ that's all dabbed out. This is Pookie from Ohio and Washington. We got Left Wing Larry. I'm Brian the Red. Welcome. We got a full dab house.
It's Wax Wednesday.
Damn right.
We're having a good time. And John took a big hit.
Yeah.
Well, we call that a glob.
John globbed out, man.
Yep.
A glibber glob.
Come back, John. Come back,
He did a
man.
full Jurassic Park. Is what
I got so much to talk about.
Glib glob glooby.
So about oil. Before we go there, though. I got great news. First of all, let's get what everyone was saying here in the chat room. High in Hawaii, obviously in Hawaii, said it's $30 to $40 a gram. Roland Reverend says 30 to 40 a gram. Runaround is 30 to 60 a gram, but he says bubble hash is 10 to 30.
Wow. See, that's something I don't understand. Bubble hash. There's a lot of folks around here who sell bubble hash for $10 a gram. It's like that's how much weed costs.
Yeah, and so we're clear. Bubble doesn't mean you made it from a bag. Bubble means it bubbles when it sizzles. Okay, you just there's a big difference there. You have water hash,
and
then there's bubble hash.
Yeah.
Well,
bubble hash is $30 a gram. Water hash is $10 a gram.
And the difference is that the bubble has the oils left in it. So
usually
full melt is what they call it.
But often, you lose all the oils with water anyways, because it's just the heaviest solvent.
With a lot of it.
Yeah.
See, that's the thing when people don't, can't.
That's
quite
why.
grasp
That's
when
why
they're
bubble
making the
hash tests so shitty all the time. And it's like, people can talk to me all day about
water
how
is a
great
solvent, morons. Quit complaining about butane. Water is the universal solvent. 8th grade chemistry. You can find the books at garage sales for $1.
All right, let's do. But I did want to get this important story.
That's interesting. I'm sorry though about the price. That's interesting though because there's places on the East Coast, New York, Philadelphia, where garbage is $100 a gram.
Yeah.
Absolute garbage, something that Russ and I would never smoke, and we're pretty adventurous.
Yeah, pretty adventurous. That's right. All right, I wanted to bring this story across. Medigro, Vermont, one of our chatters, came across breaking news. He says from last hour. Vermont VA doctors document cancer cure of early-stage colon cancer in a 70-year-old man. The patient refused standard treatment, and the tumor disappeared using only Rick Simpson oil with a 90-day treatment.
I don't believe it.
Yeah.
Says a friend of mine who just got tested today in White River Junction, Vermont, at the VA. Well, good for him. I'm glad he's cancer-free. But call us in 5 years, because that's what they say. It's like if it's gone for 5 years. Then it's a cure.
There's no such thing as a cure for cancer. I mean,
James
there's
Redhorn had melanoma since '92 and just died.
Yeah, who did?
James Redhorn.
Who's that?
He was an actor that is in everything. You would recognize.
Yeah, one of those guys.
Yeah, he was the guy in Independence Day.
Oh, yeah, I saw him. I saw that come up the other day. Yeah. And that's the thing too is when we get around that, cannabis cures cancer stuff, is cure is too big a word and cancer is too big a disease.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's the way I look at it. It's like cancer's this process. Really, it's almost like saying pregnancy is a process. It's not one point in time. Cancer is.
It said first, cancer is the exponential growth of mutated cells.
Yeah.
And you said cure means stop, retard in a good way, unlike the drivers of Portland today, the growth of said process. And so you can do whatever you want, but it's bullet points. You sound like a moron saying it cures cancer because it does not cure cancer. It greatly fixes or inhibits, whatever term you want.
It makes the cells kill themselves.
Exactly. It
causes apoptosis.
Exactly.
Yes.
I love that word, by the way.
Damn right.
Apoptosis.
Get it.
Pop. That's a great word. Pop. We got a call coming in. I think we've got Medigro on the line. Is that you, Medigro?
Yeah, Russ, I'm here. I just wanted to correct myself a little bit. We're talking about no evidence of disease at this time from a formed tumor that was charted over a 90-day period. They've documented it completely as basically disappearing, and there were basically 4 top-notch oncologists with their jaws dropped in front of a screen today.
That's good. I mean, anything that opens their minds up to, hey, this might be something for treatment. This might be something that's going to help people. Like we said in that WebMD survey, oncologists and hematologists, like 82% of them said that, medical marijuana is going to help our patients.
Well, what I understand, this gentleman's top in his field, and there was another young doctor in the room who made a comment regarding, gee, at least we had a success here, and that doctor turned around and handed him the paperwork and said, by the way, this gentleman refused our treatment and took another alternative source.
Wow.
There you go.
That's amazing news. Thank you, Medigro. Thank you, Fran, for calling in with that news. We got to take a short break at this point, but you're welcome to stay on the line if you'd like, or call back.
Yeah, I'd like a question.
I'll say, stay tuned with us. We'll come back from break. We'll take your question.
All right.
All right, you're listening to Toker Talk Radio on 420radio.org. Going to take a quick break. We'll be back with a whole panel and more dabs. Stick around.
We'll be right back after these messages from our 420 friendly sponsors. Support these advertisers because their ad money goes straight to the Russ Belville Show. You're tuned into the Russ Belville Show, the voice of the marijuana nation.
The law offices of Omar Figueroa would like to remind you to stand up for your rights. Please do not give up your precious liberties. There's nothing wrong with standing up for our constitutional rights, and in fact, it's the best way to honor the Constitution that recognizes our natural rights. Treat law enforcement with respect and respect the Constitution by standing up for your rights. If you are detained or arrested, stand up for your rights by repeating, I respectfully invoke all of my legal and constitutional rights. I do not consent to any search and seizure. I want to remain silent, and I want to speak with my attorney, Omar Figueroa. Omar Figueroa has more than a decade of experience in federal and California courts and graduated from Yale University, Stanford Law School, and Trial Lawyers College. Please contact the law offices of Omar Figueroa at 415-489-0420 or 707-829-0215 or on the web at omarfigueroa.com. 420 Radio, freeing your mind 24 hours a day. Cannabis Outreach Collective is an alternative health and wellness option located in Gladstone, Oregon, that serves patients in the Portland area and beyond. We are a full-service alternative health and wellness collective accommodating patients with natural, organic, holistic, and homeopathic remedies, nutritional guidance, advice, education, and medical cannabis, fully in accordance with Oregon OMMP law. You can find out more about Cannabis Outreach Collective on Facebook at COC503 or by emailing cannabisoutreachcollective503 at gmail.com or by telephone at 503-853-3333. 1319. Check out our menu on Weed Maps and visit Cannabis Outreach Collective today.
Tell me where my easy rider gone. Tell me where my easy rider gone. My white women always in the wrong. The easy rider died on the road.
All right, welcome back, everybody. 11 after the hour. That's some Easy Rider Blues with Blind Lemon Jefferson. We go way back.
I love Blind Lemon.
We got some. We got Bud Cam on, and you are now looking at some of Ganja Jon's Cin X Shatter under the 5X magnification there.
Getting prosecuted.
That would be some nug run there.
Yeah, that was very nice. There's a delay.
There's a little bit of a delay.
Oh, look at that.
Got that internet delay, you see.
Stoner engineering.
There we go. So, what are some of the signs? We already covered, the spattering of it. What somebody out there that's new to dabs, new to oil.
Look through it. It should look like a fruit roll-up. It should be like an apple fruit roll-up. You should just be able to see through it. No striations, no tiger stripes.
Like consistency through the translucence of it.
Yeah, you should be able to see your hand through it. I mean, you should be able to see right there. If you notice there, John's there's a lot of bubbles, but you can clearly see all the way through it. There's not a lot of particulates. It looks like almost like you'd poured out maple syrup.
Those aren't even bubbles. Those are craters. If there were bubbles in it, if there were bubbles still in it, those could be bubbles of air that were from it being folded, or they could be butane. Generally, they're not butane. Generally, they're just air from it being folded or something like that. But yeah, you can put it on top of a $20 bill and read. You should be able to read everything under it. You should be able to read the lettering under it. So, yeah, I mean, there's some oil out there. Some of the best oil out there isn't opaque, isn't translucent like that, and that's not always what you're looking for. But when you're looking for a shatter, you should be able to see through it. Yeah.
We're checking out our chat room. Got a lot of good friends in the chat room right now. Wanted to say hi out there to Mama Wana herself, Georgia Mom for Marijuana. Sharon Ravert's in our chat room.
Yeah, love that
and
woman.
Pookie just wanted to agree with you that I need to be slapped upside my head.
He didn't get caught. He didn't get caught.
I didn't get caught. No, I got caught, actually.
Yeah, he got caught.
No, you don't get caught. No. You don't get caught unless you hear clink.
Just getting away with a slap on the wrist, I did pretty good.
Yeah.
Didn't hurt having Sharon there, though, handling things so expertly, because I was fucked up. I was in no shape to be coherent. The best I could accomplish was shutting my mouth. That was as good as it was going to get for me. So when you're processing this, another question I had about this is because in Maricopa County, right, in Arizona, first of all, they had a really messed up situation where they passed medical marijuana law, and in the definitions of marijuana, they said you could have all the resins, extracts, salts, isomers, all that.
Any preparation
thereof, right? Yeah. But they also still had a previous criminal law that defined cannabis, a separate thing, and did not include the preparations thereof. And so Maricopa County DA there was busting patients for using concentrates because he was using the criminal cannabis definition, not the medical marijuana definition.
That famous Ned Flanders quote, "I follow the Bible, even the parts that
disagree." Exactly. Yeah. So this went to the Arizona Superior Court, which just recently, like last week, said no, patients can have concentrates, right? Well, now the DA has asked for a clarification because Arizona's law says you can have 2.5 ounces of marijuana, of usable marijuana as a patient. He wants to know, does that mean 2.5 ounces of concentrates? Or how much concentrate 2.5 ounces would make?
Well, I can tell you specifically that 2.5 ounces of concentrate is never going to get made without pounds and pounds of marijuana. So if somebody has 2.5 ounces of concentrate that's consistent, a law was broken.
And that's I think would be his
that's
point.
His point. Yeah, and I understand that. That is our system at work, guys. It's just there's no way to I mean, even if you have 2.5 ounces of trim or bud or whatever, you're not going to have that much concentrate.
What is the ratio though when you're?
Let's talk 10 to 20% at the most.
Okay, so
the most by weight.
Right. So out of 2.5 ounces, you might end up with a half ounce. Maybe quarter ounce,
maybe
9 to 11 grams realistically.
But here's where I think he's screwed is because there's such variability in like how much you're going to process and how much shatter or oil that's going to make. And since the law only creates a bright line at 2.5 ounces, I think the courts are going to say it's 2.5 ounces of concentrate.
I think they're going to too.
Because there's nothing in the law that says it has to be less concentrate. And the point that a law was broken to make that much concentrate doesn't really matter because just like the guys...
Well, it doesn't matter. You can never. I mean, you could never prove that you didn't say, I just made 15 little batches.
Right. Mm-hmm. And you could never... Just like Washington State where they have an ounce, but where did it come from?
Yeah.
Well, it doesn't matter. The ounce is legal once you have it. Right. Doesn't matter that you had to go through illegal means to get it.
It came from magic.
Yeah, the weed fairy showed up. Happens all the time.
So I don't know about that. Is Sheriff Joe still out there?
Joe Arpaio in Arizona? Oh yeah.
Yeah, that guy's a kook.
Yeah, slightly.
Yeah,
I think he's in. I think the FBI is starting to close it in on him though for some civil rights violation things.
Oh,
imagine, just imagine that civil rights violations.
Yeah, he's definitely a guy I would not want to see if I had a butane can and a piece of glass.
Definitely not. Yeah. Definitely not. Now I worry sometimes because like the little store I got down the street here has boxes and boxes of butane cans for sale.
That worries you?
It worries me because I know they're selling that many because there's that much demand.
Can you hand me that magazine behind you there, Pookie?
That one?
Yep.
It worries me because there's so much demand for it, and I know that not everybody.
This magazine that's right next to it that says how to make concentrates.
How to make?
How to make concentrates. I don't think it's this issue. Oh no, it is.
Dab
School.
Yep, Dab
Making concentrates.
There you go.
So right next to that, hey, and I'm not saying that I'm not trying to talk shit about High Times. I love High Times. I've won a High Times Cannabis Cup. But the fact of the matter is High Times has been doing this forever. They're not going to stop doing it. I may have said this 20 years ago about, they have grow articles in here. But yeah, I mean, I got to check myself a little bit. But some kid is going to read this and go, oh shit, I can do this. Mm-hmm. There's no problem.
Yeah.
It covers in here.
Are you telling a story of a cautionary tale or the next Cannabis Cup winner where he's striving like I'm gonna do that? I'm the next Ganja Jon. Because you need to be real fucking clear with the story right now because I'm getting inspiration.
Well, I'll say that the only good thing about this is it shows them doing everything outside.
Yeah.
And I think if people aren't specific about that you're going to see a lot more blown up garages or blown up refrigerators
missing eyebrows
or stuff like that. I mean, I could show you pictures of some people that I know who I don't talk to anymore because they have scars all over their arms from blowing themselves up.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's harsh, but that's a scarlet letter that you didn't know what the fuck you were doing and you rushed into something. And it scares the crap out of me. It scares the absolute bejesus out of me because there's people that I've taught how to make oil who I know for a fact are blasting with their children walking around. And it makes me crazy. To win. And I just I can't fucking deal with it, man.
Yeah.
I can't deal with it.
And that's the part that scares me too, is because for every Ganja Jon I know about 4 or 5 dipshits.
I know, yeah. Dipshit Charlies.
Yeah. And that bothers me. So we're going to talk about this some more when we come back around from the next break. Let's talk about how much we should be telling people about how to make this stuff. Is it better to just, they're going to do it, so let's get the proper information out? Kind of like, you might think a sex ad or what's the responsibility of magazines like High Times?
Why put the proper information out there how to make cocaine?
Yeah.
There's medical uses for that, but even if I knew how to do it, I'm not going to put the information out there.
Right.
I don't want people to endanger themselves, but I know that I've met people that just can't do this.
Mm-hmm.
I've watched people use my equipment in my home and completely fuck it up. And I go, how did you do that? There's just some people who just shouldn't do it.
That's right. And unlike, say, preparing meth or LSD, there's not a whole lot of chemistry knowledge you need either. I mean, it's not like no one's going to be intimidated about this from it being too hard angle.
Everyone's got a kitchen. Not everybody can cook a good meal.
There you go. So we'll talk about that, but when we come back, because right now it's 4:20 in the Pacific time zone, and under union rules, we are mandated to take a cannabinoid-related break. See you in a minute.
Oh, have you ever met that funny reefer man? A reefer man. Have you ever met that funny reefer man? A reefer man. If he said he swam to China, he would sell you South Carolina. Then you know you're talking to that reefer man.
When you are starting up a medical cannabis business, you don't just want any attorney. You want a fired-up lawyer who understands the needs of cannabis consumers. The law office of Lauren Vasquez is your fired-up lawyer for the cannabis industry. Lauren Vasquez knows the details of California marijuana law from both a personal and professional angle. Lauren Vasquez rose from the ranks of college normal activist to become one of the Bay Area's best marijuana lawyers. Visit her website, fireduplawyer.com, or call 1-855-MMJ-LAWS for more information. That's 855-665-5297 for Lauren Vasquez, your fired-up lawyer, or email fireduplawyer@gmail.com. The number again is 855-MMJ-LAWS, 855-665-5297 for your fired-up lawyer, Lauren Vasquez. Lauren Vasquez is an activist attorney you can trust. Call today.
You know Herb Thrasher from the Herb Thrasher Flower Hour. Now get ready for Herb Age Designs for the proud cannabis consumer. Herb Age Designs, lifestyle gear for the 420 friendly. Herb Age Designs, home of the famous lighter leash. Herb Age Designs. Get your Herb Age t-shirts and hoodies and show your pride. Herb Age Designs. We've got Frisbee golf discs and durable hemp gear. Herb Age Designs. We've got shot glasses, drinking glasses, coffee mugs, and beer cozies. Check us out on Facebook and online at herbagedesigns.com. And follow Herb Age and Herb Thrasher on Twitter. We'll see you at this year's Hemp Fest. Crank it up.
.420 Radio is 24-hour marijuana legalization radio. Check out our morning lineup every weekday at 7 a.m. Pacific Time, 10 a.m. Eastern Time. On Mondays, it's Drug Truth Network Century of Lies with Dean Becker from Houston, Texas. On Tuesdays, Electric Bob's Boogaloo with Electric Bob from Scottsdale, Arizona. On Wednesdays, Medical Marijuana Radio with Larry Love from Santa Fe, New Mexico. On Thursdays, a cannabis broadcast with John K. and Scott W. from Prince Albert, Saskatchewan, Canada. And on Fridays, All the Hypocrisy with Jimmy Reefer Cake and Polly Madman from Maine. That's 7 a.m. Pacific Time, 10 a.m. Eastern Time, and 3 p.m. GMT, right here on 420radio.org.
Welcome back, everyone. 24 after the hour. Full house here on Wax Wednesdays. Brian the Red just got his dab in. Ganja Jon's hanging out with...
Ganja Jon just almost burned down the monitor.
I know. 30 grams of Ganja Jon Cin X shatter here in the house, and you know it's truly...
27 now. 27 now,
yeah. Which, you know it's truly a party when the fire alarm goes off.
$180 to $300 worth of fun on the East Coast.
That's right. Smoke alarm went off, so we know we're truly partying now. You get Left Wing Larry up here for a dab.
No, Dibs.
A dib.
Oh, it's getting real keg stand up in this bitch, high school style.
High school style. That's
lining up.
Hey, we got to go to our
Who's got the shortest skirt?
Hey, real quick to the phone lines because we got a call for Ganja Jon here. Question from Medigro. What's up, Medigro?
What's up, dude?
Hey, John. How you doing?
I'm doing very well.
Yeah, we're still doing things fairly primitive out here, so I'm trying to learn from you a little bit.
Fly me out there.
And you were mentioning before when you get a substance that's looks fairly porous. When you're doing your BHO after you've done your water clear, but with no vacuum clear, what would you suggest is the next step?
With no vacuum?
Yeah, no vacuum.
Buy a vac oven. I mean, honestly, like I made oil for so long. Well, not so long. It was probably only like 8 months without a vac oven, and I got so sick. So fucking sick. And it just...
what we're trying here is we're doing multiple water clears, which seem to work after a period of time, but it's an extensive procedure.
You're blasting. Are you blasting it into hot water?
A jar vacuum sealed that you could put in a warm oven, say 100 degrees. Would that be useful?
That would be okay, but you would want... I mean, the best cheap alternative for you to do right now, and I want a cannabis cup this way, actually, is you can go on eBay and you can buy something called a Vacket Pro, and it's a 10-gallon metal pot with an acrylic top that vacuums on, and the bottom of it you can heat up. So you use basically like an electric griddle or something like that you put a pan of water in or something, and then put that submerge that Vacket Pro in that water, and then you can vac and pull that butane out. Because honestly, you're not gonna get a smokable product without a vacuum, without putting it in a purge. You can heat purge small amounts of oil, and be okay, but with anything over 3 grams, you have to have a vac oven.
Right. So I have been doing the small amounts, so that has been working to some degree. But thank you for that information. Vacket Pro sounds great.
Yeah.
The other thing I would ask you is,
are you
familiar with CO2 at all?
CO2 is very safe, and the expensive machine to do it costs between $25,000 and $60,000. The product that comes out of that is not worth that money.
Not worth that money.
It doesn't have the terpenes don't come across right. I've smoked it in Denver, I've smoked it in Washington, I've smoked it in Amsterdam, and there's never ever been CO2 oil that I would ever smoke again.
I've had some CO2 oil that's that
they lied to you.
good.
They lied to you. I'm just.
I've tried different types.
I've been
of
given
CO2
CO2 oil before that was not CO2 oil.
I've tried some that was just nasty before.
It's all garbage.
It
all
just leaves you with
garbage.
a dry coat in the throat. It tastes like reclamated oil. I mean, it just don't working. I mean, as intake at a dispensary.
And so the incentive, though, of course, for these guys is to call it CO2, because it's almost like one of those buzzwords of it's safer because it's CO2.
Quote, yeah, it's like
you're losing your terpenes in the whole process there. And do you lose terpenes above 130 degrees when you're, let's say, water curing or you're curing cannabis in a vacuum oven?
Absolutely, you lose them over about 130 degrees. You want to stick to. You'll see a lot of people online that are sticking to 90 degrees for 8 days, like crazy stuff like that. I don't do that. I'll do 3-day purges sometimes, but
3 days in a vacuum.
Yeah, I run mine at about 105 degrees, and you're gonna start burning off THC at 120. So, but there's other schools of thought of that, so I'm not the end all be all in this. There's some people who have beat the ever loving shit out of me in competitions who did 170 degrees for 2 hours. So
what I'm hearing is the lower temperature is better, actually.
Absolutely.
Can you just give me the name of that device you were using again? I'll write it down.
Vacket Pro.
Vacket Pro.
And it's made for VACIT Pro. And it's basically made for pulling air out of silicones for art and stuff like that.
No kidding.
But yeah, it works great, and you can heat it up. It's made out of stainless steel. So that's I would say 90% of what people are doing right now who are making oil in their homes, that's what they're using is a Vacket Pro.
Do you know what it costs?
$100.
$100. Yeah. Fantastic.
You got to buy an oven, or you got to buy a vacuum outside of that. Which if you're for starting, I'd recommend like a Robin Air 3 CFM 2-stage, something like that.
3 CFM.
Yeah, 3 CFM, somewhere around there, 3 to 6 CFM. I run a 10 CFM, but I run a really big oven. So,
yes, he does.
So yeah, I can put like 170 grams in my oven at a time. So it's, with the smaller Vacket Pros, you don't need anything over a 3 CFM.
I've never seen 170 grams at a time.
Fly me out.
Yeah, coming out right now. So the final thing would be if you were buying a vacuum oven that was, let's say, in the $1,200 range or something like that, what brand do you like?
Cross International.
Cross International?
You can buy those on eBay too. I would recommend just going to their website. I got in a lot of trouble actually for saying this at the San Francisco Cup when I spoke was, fuck it, use a Cross International and use Vacket Pros. And I told everyone to do that. It is their only way for using vac ovens, and High Times was kind of mad because they had another sponsor that made ovens. But Across International is they've been making ovens for a long time. You can find some people are upgrading, so you can find the Across International ones used, and they recently just found out that people are buying them for hash oil, and they've been kind of pushing them towards that area too. So. They're
all right,
really
I'll
good
Google
company.
that.
Yeah. And hit me up anytime, John at GanjaJon.com if you have any questions or anything like that.
Thanks, John. Thanks, Russ. You guys have a great evening, and I'm sorry I'm not there to make it 26 grams available.
We'll talk to you soon, man.
See you, man.
All right, take care. Bye.
We also had a follow-up question in the chat room.
I always loved his calls, by the way. He's been calling forever.
Yeah, Fran's been a good guy, and he's been like we're starting to form this kind of proto news organization here, where we're going to have someone who's a regular for the show, who's following up each state basically, calling in from time to time. I hesitate to say having a news division because that would imply like titles and salaries.
I just don't understand why Huffington Post hasn't just they have a marijuana section.
Yeah, they do.
I don't understand why they haven't just put you on HuffPost Live to just run it.
We'll find out.
I know.
I just can keep doing what I do.
I loved that. I loved the segment on HuffPost Live with you and Hamilton from Vice.
Yeah, he was great.
Just Demora and my buddy Sean Black. That was a great segment.
That was a good segment, absolutely. Yeah. And High Time's going to put the Russ Belville show up on their site. So I think that'll give us a lot more exposure as well.
Yeah,
but
it's going to be great.
This is the year for it to happen, and I really think my presentation coming up at 420 at the Cannabis Cup is going to be huge because I've already got ABC News 2020 coming out to talk to me about it, and there'll be a couple of others. Yeah, I'm sure there's going to be plenty of media at the Cannabis Cup, and you put me on a stage doing PowerPoint for 45 minutes, that's plenty of camera-friendly stuff.
You still got that extra ticket, man?
I got I got extras of all sorts of things.
If you got an extra ticket, man, I think I'm going to surprise some people and go out.
Yeah. Well, we're road tripping out.
I know.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to go with you.
All right. We'll get, but they've gave me 4 tickets this year actually.
Yeah.
So that's all I got.
I have a staff bracelet
3 of us
somewhere.
So
I got a staff bracelet too.
But and for everybody who can't make it, I'm headlining the Seattle Underground.
Yeah, Seattle Underground
Doug
on 420.
Benson.
And
Doug's in Portland.
Doug's
Oh,
in
he's
Portland.
Okay.
I'm in Seattle.
You're in Seattle. Okay. Never mind.
I'm the second biggest pot comic in the Northwest, according to bookers.
Unfortunately. Hey, but we had a follow-up question
legal
about this temperature stuff you were talking about. Roland Reverend wanted to know.
Here it goes. Here comes all my secrets.
At 105, does the wax stay in liquid form?
The wax shouldn't be in there.
It shouldn't.
Okay. Well, let me just broaden the question.
I understand.
Let me broaden the question
de-waxing
because we get shatter, Earl, wax, butter. We get all these different consistencies. Does the temp? What makes that different? I mean, it's all the same concentrate, but what makes the different consistency?
What makes those different consistencies is how much butane you push through it, how the temperature of the actual bud that you're pushing, the temperature of the butane that you're pushing through, how long you let the butane soak. There's a million factors, and that's why you can give the same thing to 5 different hash makers, and they'll make you something different. Every single one. I just dropped off some Cin X that was completely different than the Cin X we're smoking now. It came off the same plant.
Now, when you're doing it, though, if you use your same techniques consistently,
I can be consistent.
Do you get the consistent
I personally
thing?
can be consistent.
Okay.
And I can,
so it's not a surprise. I'm like, oh shit, it came out wax this time.
It used to be.
Okay.
A long time ago, before I knew the ins and outs of it. Even my cannabis cup entry, I didn't know how it was going to turn out, and it wasn't a shatter.
Yeah.
It was somewhere in between a shatter and a wax, and they ended up calling it sugar. Because it had the consistency of sugar.
That's cute.
And so, I mean, it's just... There's so many different variables, and that's why I said earlier that I can have people make oil with my equipment and come out with something different. Is just it's not even necessarily something I can see or pick up on what they're doing, but it always turns out different. And what I've told people is some people just have gorilla fingers and they just can't do it.
Yeah.
And
Everyone cooks a steak.
Everyone can cook a steak different.
The kitchen analogy works.
Yeah, and when you're talking about, when he was talking about wax, he says, does the wax liquefy? I don't know if he's talking about the fats and lipids that are in the oil, because there's a process called dewaxing that we do where we take all the fats and lipids out of the oil, and that's much more advanced. That's where you're talking about using actual science equipment and actually paying attention in science class.
It's Ganja Jon 102.
Yeah.
Hey, Roland Reverend, if you can call in, our number's up above John's head there. If you can, flesh that question out, because I didn't really understand it. But he's followed up by saying,
but generally wax, you have that waxy consistency, this crumble. It was higher temp. It was pushed up to 130. And it was whipped. Yeah. So there's some people who will whip, and what that does is it physically locks butane in there, and it makes the oil look different. So you can get all kinds of different consistencies just by changing the temperature. But also there's folks who use different kind of filters. In the old days people used coffee filters. Now they use like a certain micron filter or something like that. But yeah, you can get all kinds of different results with different equipment.
All right, everything you ever wanted to know about wax, Earl, butter, shatter, oil.
We'll get smarter people in here.
Yeah.
In a couple of weeks or something, I'll start calling some of my friends who make oil.
Yeah, we'll get them on the Skype.
Yeah,
it's Wax Wednesdays. We'll be right back.
We'll be right back after these messages from our 420 friendly sponsors. Support these advertisers because their ad money goes straight to the Russ Belville Show. You're tuned into the Russ Belville Show, the voice of the marijuana nation.
I'm a reefer smoking man.
Woodpipe Smoke Shop and Speakeasy is your source for cannabis community gear in southern Wisconsin. Owners Brian and Tammy Wood are located in Kendall, just outside of Madison, and they've got everything for the smoking enthusiast, including a full assortment of pipes, water pipes, hookahs, bubblers, one-hitters, and so much more. They're open noon to 8 p.m. Monday through Saturday and can help you with your detoxification therapies as well. Call 608-466-7473 or email woodpipes@yahoo.com for more information. That's 608-466-7473 or email woodpipes@yahoo.com. And as always, go pack go.
Support the Russ Belville Show. Text the word Russ to 420-420 and connect with the National Cannabis Coalition. You can also send $10 to the Russ Belville Show right from your smartphone. That's Russ to 420-420. You're listening to Radical Russ on the Russ Belville Show.
.420 Radio, your ticket to Seattle Hemp Fest.
God bless everybody out there. This is full of them criminal style. This one's about jumping out of the airplane.
Welcome back, everyone. 40 after the hour here at Toker Talk Radio, Rolla J Studios live.
Did you all miss
Portland,
me?
Oregon.
2.0 Rolla J Studio.
Everyone missed me, didn't they?
Didn't they?
Ganja Jon's back.
They didn't they?
We let him out of his cage. He's unrestricted, unrestrained by the FCC.
Much like a special education child in the 1800s, we let him out.
I live in relatively the same location I've always have.
I know, but I moved farther.
Yeah, see, there we go. Thanks for the correction. Wasn't my fault. I stayed pretty
Yeah, when
close.
we were driving up to your house, like he was driving and I was navigating. He was driving my car because we decided to take my car because the rig was in it.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And I have more patience.
Yeah, and he has a lot more patience. I was screaming out the window at people. I don't know where I was going with that.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah,
because we got someone new to dab out.
Oh, Adam's here. Stone Kidney's here.
That's right.
What's happening?
Looking like Liam Neeson about ready to break some goddamn wrists.
I know.
Look
Did
at
someone
him.
steal your daughter?
Yeah, you look like Liam Neeson.
You look like the pothead Liam Neeson, dude. You look like... It's like, I want to give you a lightsaber and a 9mm.
I have a very special set of skills.
Yeah. I can trade Padawans and break bitches' necks.
Okay, can we talk? Can we? Hey, actually, I am going to talk about something Stone Kidney did teach me. It was a very special set of skills. I don't know if
Double
he even
friction
knows
twist.
this yet, but I ate some edibles that he taught me how to enhance. So we made those.
Yes.
We made those blueberry muffins, and I ate 4 of them.
I did good.
I went to bed at 3 a.m. that night after eating four very strong blueberry muffins.
Todd's
I woke
special
up
brew.
at 9:30 p.m. the next day.
This kid has the deepest cannabinoid system on earth, I think.
Oh,
I was
my
so proud
God.
of my cooking. I was so proud.
All right. I want to bring up a story that we covered in the news where the Denver coroner has listed the first death since legalization attributed to marijuana intoxication. Mm-hmm. And the roundabout way he gets to it. Now, it's a sad story. 19-year-old kid, originally from the Congo, gets an international studies scholarship, goes to this small Northwest college in Wyoming, right? And he takes a spring break to Denver. And while on spring break, he's at the Holiday Inn Denver East and fell off the balcony and died from the fall. And then they do the toxicology and they find 7.2 nanograms of active THC per milliliter in his blood, right? He's above the legal limit. And so they say that, he's a healthy kid. There was, he's not suicidal. There was nothing else that would have contributed to him falling off that balcony, but for the fact that he was intoxicated on a marijuana edible. I call bullshit on this.
I call bullshit on that too.
You can't call that a marijuana death.
You can't get inside someone's head.
Well, that and that. What other? It would be like saying, okay, if the guy broke an ankle and had bad balance and fell off the balcony, you wouldn't say his broken ankle killed him.
Yeah.
Those Yeezys blew it out.
Yeah.
Oops, sorry. Get all my mics there.
Oh, are they charging gravity with murder?
Yeah. No, it's still an accident and everything. They're just saying
gravity pulled him to the ground. Son of a bitch.
Gravity's fault. Dig up Isaac Newton.
It's this crazy notion that the marijuana. They're trying so hard to have that headline of the first marijuana death, and it's just.
Well, they tried that in Washington here. They tried that with the stoned driver when he hit that guy in Vancouver.
Yep.
The dude ran out from behind a tree.
Yeah, I know.
It was like anybody would have hit that guy.
Right, and that's where I worry. It's like when we get these stories of they're just looking for the big bad accident.
Wait for the first edible Mama Cass. Wait for that moment, and they're gonna choke on a brownie and be like, "Oh my god, look at this!
Oh, and by the way, I already figured out, just so everyone's clear on this, we figured out the way around Oregon medible banning things. We're just going to make all the medibles in the shape of a dick.
They overturned that.
Yeah, it's not going to appeal to children.
That's not to appeal to minors.
No, it works for shitty bachelorette parties. I live that life as a comic. I know the bachelorette parties. I spot them by their cock-shaped implementalia. And so all edibles, all things candy-related, all dick-shaped. Or vulva-shaped. I'm a humanist. I'm a humanist. There'll be 7 shades of our candy. Fuck you, John.
Okay.
My favorite joke of the whole day.
I cope with that. My favorite joke from Colbert recently, Idaho made their maximum speed limit 80 miles per hour, and now you can get out faster.
Nice. Get back to Washington to chill out.
Oh, my goodness. So, so that calling BS on the Denver death, although it is sad that the kid fell off the balcony.
We had something like that happen to an exchange student.
But he died in America.
Yeah, he died in America.
How can these patriots be sad about this? He came to Africa and he died here high as shit in a hotel, a Holiday Inn. He lived Snoop Dogg's life in a short 19 years.
Hotel, motel, Holiday Inn.
Damn right.
Yeah,
and then instead of throwing the mic, he threw himself to the ground.
Oh,
and made it a good day.
This poor guy.
He probably giggled all the way down.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, this brownie is something else.
When he comes back, he's gonna be born again.
Okay, the other great,
levity.
the other great story, a great story that came out. Earl Blumenauer on Monday, talking to Huffington Post Live, said marijuana legalization. He says prohibition is game over in 5 years.
Damn right.
That's
coming from Earl.
Earl.
Bloom an hour. Like, I mean, just like
Bloom an hour.
Like, do you guys realize he has to be the Antichrist for Republicans? Like, his name's a bunch of drugs. He wears a goddamn bike. I'm done. This is it.
He gets a Bloom an hour, huh?
I've got one of those bikes. A nice green one.
Oh my gosh.
I've always thought about naming one of my oils after him, like releasing it for a cup or something for Seattle Cannabis Cup.
Earl Barf an
Earl
hour.
Blumenauer.
Call it the early bloomer.
Just Earl, just ERRL.
Yeah.
Blumenauer.
Blumenauer.
I like that. Very good.
Yeah.
More dabs happening.
A tribute.
How's it going, A?
It's going pretty good.
See, we had to get him on mic just so we could prove that he was really here.
Yeah.
I am here. Hello, world.
Yes, there's somebody else in the building.
Oh, and also hi to all of our chatters out there, including Randy Brush, Roland Reverend. Speed limits out there. Speed limit, of course, was going off about the other day about the medible rules. You can't have any brightly colored medibles.
Bright colored.
We didn't have any bright, like even at our dispensary, we didn't have any brightly colored anything.
The gummies.
The gummies, and they weren't even in-house made.
The second there was an issue.
Yeah, and yeah, it's just
but it just makes me want to make a brownie with like
frosting
hot
on it.
pink frosting just to fuck with them.
Yeah, it's a ridiculous rule.
It's like this, you know, have out on your shelf, right? A series of brownies in increasing saturation of color, like a dark green, a light green, a bright green, a neon green.
Yeah, at which
just
point
to see which one they bust.
at which point does it become illegal?
At which point is that just too bright and appealing to minors?
My argument about this for the entire time is like these little containers, like this, buried under a piece of paper with just the edge of it showing. My 9-year-old can spot that shit at 50 yards. Did you get a Super Ball?
No.
You know, but she doesn't say anything about brownies in the cabinet because it's just food that you see every day.
Right. So it's more that bright packaging that's a problem.
That's what the issue is. And then she comes, does it bounce? And then she wants to play. Can I have it?
Don't bounce that shit. Bounce your oral.
You can't see on the camera or listening in the podcast.
We're talking about a little oil.
We're talking little oil containers. I'll show you
like a small oil slick.
Yeah, and so for those of you who are listening on a podcast, they make these because the Earls and the Shatters and the Earls and the Buds and the Waxes and all the blah, blah,
They
blah.
need containers.
They're sticky. And so you don't want to put them in like glass or something because it sticks to the glass. It's a pain in the ass. So they make these containers that are like silicone, platinum cured silicone and all that. And they look this tie-dyed, bright yellow, green, red kind of motif going at. And Pookie's got one over there. I'll put Pookie Cam on. That's kind of a green and white little, or is that teal?
That's green.
Aquamarine?
That's
hot tub.
Greenish.
Hot tub. It's
1990s hot tub.
jacuzzi.
Yes, it's 99.
99
It's called the back rub. Is what it's called.
It's called the mustache back
No,
rub.
actually, I think it's seafoam.
Yeah, seafoam green.
Yes.
Jacuzzi 98.
Tom Selleck teal is what we like to
Tom Selleck teal. But yeah, they make a lot of these containers like that I had never even thought of that. I'm glad you brought it up because it does look like a Super Bowl.
Right.
And they do, and they actually
shape
do
it like
bounce.
a dick.
Yeah.
Again, shape it like a dick.
They bounce beautifully, see?
Yeah.
Oh, well.
Yeah.
Well, maybe not so beautiful.
Oil all over the floor.
I have seen some of them have been blue.
I've told a few. There are round ones, and I've told people that they bounce to watch them throw their oil on.
Yeah.
But it's just like, oh my god, I can't believe you fell for that.
It's like, dude, really? It's like
on the table.
Oh, that's wonderful.
It's like when you tell someone to hold their wrist and then you have to have them pull real hard.
Oh yeah. Please. It's like,
it's not my fault. I taught you a lesson about gullibility.
You should know better than that by now. How
if
old
you
are
choose
you?
not to learn through others' lessons, I'm going to teach you some.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness! But yeah, we're going to have medical marijuana in Florida by the end of this year. We're going to have legalization in Alaska.
Maybe they'll chill it the hell out then.
By the end of Seattle Hemp Fest, we'll have legalization in Alaska.
Yeah.
And then by November, we'll have legalization here in Oregon. Maybe three different ones. It's
it'll break down to one.
Well, eventually one will be the one that gets the most votes, unless they tie, and then
California,
and then there's constitutional chaos.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
And then we'll have the green corridor from like Mexico, legal California, legal Washington, legal Oregon, legal BC, legal Alaska.
Yeah, the entire West Coast will be pretty legal.
And then we can just go get Putin high real quick.
Here in Oregon, I've noticed that the conservatives wait. They let the hippies pass the stuff, and then the conservatives do an end run around the thing. So same thing. We got dispensaries allowed, and everybody's happy. Now, those of us helping other patients don't feel like maybe we could end up going to jail anyway, or we have to kind of do this shady. And then they come out with this thing. Well, that's fine, but you can't give them any medicine. You can only sell them the stuff that we say isn't medicine.
Yeah.
So you can't make edibles. You can't give them brightly colored packaging. You can't do any of that. But you can sell them the stuff that you smoke that we claim isn't medicine at all.
Right.
My point is, this war might be over, but the battles are going to last the rest of my life.
Oh yeah, lots of cleanup, lots of reconciliation, all that kind of stuff for sure.
I just pictured like a son says you said that, like looking off. Like, Prohibition warrior.
Well, I think I got everybody stoned, and we only have 50 seconds left. It's obviously regressed into...
Wow.
We're having ourselves a great time. We're going to take a little break here. When we come back, we'll wrap things up on Toker Talk Radio. We're still... Phone lines open at 971-533-7111.
There's a small one.
You got questions for anybody on the panel or just something to say? That's why
brought
we're here.
my entourage today. I'm sorry.
That's fine by me.
Yay!
America!
We'll be right back after these messages from our 420 friendly sponsors. Support these advertisements because their ad money goes straight to the Russ Belville Show. You're tuned into the Russ Belville Show, the voice of the marijuana nation.
Cast your eyes up to the skies. What is it to live and die?
Ever wonder how often to change your bong water? The most effective method for baking pot brownies? The best destinations for a ganja getaway? How to hide herb in your car? Whether to grow your own? How precisely to legalize it? Or how something as wonderful as marijuana ever got to be illegal in the first place? Finally, you can find all these answers and much more in the official High Times Pot Smoker's Handbook, featuring 420 things to do when you're stoned. Since 1974, High Times Magazine has covered marijuana in all its aspects and wonders, from cultivation to legalization to the herb's enduring and exalted place in popular culture. Packed with inside information, the official High Times Pot Smoker's Handbook rolls all of this collected wisdom together into a single indispensable ganja guide, including an entertaining look at marijuana's history, profiles of herb-friendly travel destinations and festivals, favorite potluck recipes from the High Times staff, smoking skills, advocacy and activism, essential marijuana movies and songs, profiles of famous cannabis strains, comprehensive growing information, celebrity endorsements, and much more. This is truly, finally, the ultimate guide to green living.
Cannabis Common Sense, starring Paul Stanford and Casper Leach from Portland, Oregon. Mondays at noon Pacific on 420radio.org.
Are you or is someone you know a marijuana smoker? Have you or is someone in your family been arrested for a marijuana violation? You need to know the truth about pot. NORML, the National Organization for the Reform of Marijuana Laws, is the most comprehensive source of information regarding marijuana and its effects on health, as well as legal issues. NORML even offers a database of lawyers specializing in cannabis in your area. NORML, the nation's largest and most successful marijuana law reform organization, has spent decades gathering the knowledge and science on everything related to cannabis. NORML is the best resource to find out the truth about marijuana, connect with a lawyer in your area, or help find an end to prohibition. Information is available at norml.org, that's NORML.org, or toll free at 888-67-NORML.
Hey, Cat. It's 4 o'clock in the morning. I just left the Disc Studios. Here we are in Harlem. Everybody's here but the police, and they'll be here any minute. It's high time, so catch this song. Here it is. I dreamed about a reefer 5 feet long. A mighty mess, but not too strong. You'll be high, but not for long. If you're a viper.
Welcome back, everybody. Just winding things up. 56 after the hour. Got a report from our friend Jam Band Fan in the chat room. We were down in Eugene for the Oregon Medical Marijuana Business Conference on Sunday. We got to hang out with Jam Band Fan.
What? There's a Jam Band Fan down in Eugene?
Yeah, and her man.
Yeah?
They're both Jam Band fans.
Yeah.
And I took down some of this. This is yours. This is, I think, your AFGU, right, that I'd gotten earlier. So I took some of this AFGU down, and we shared with them. Jam Band Fan says in the chat room, "Damn, John, your oil is intense. I did a dib and was blasted for almost 2 hours. LOL."
Oops, sorry. Yeah, I had dabbed them with that San Diego cat piss.
Oh, that made a lot of people get inside their head.
You're lucky you even got some of that, man.
Man, as soon as I saw it go on the post on the Bright Side's Facebook, I was just happened to see it. It was kismet.
It was such a small bag of trim.
It was such a limited run.
I didn't even keep any. It was like a 10-gram run or something. Yeah, it was.
It was awesome.
I was there
really
like.
So, are you entering any cups or competitions lately, or
no? Man, I gotta support the patients right now.
Yeah,
and I'm trying to have a baby. We're trying to have a little Ganja Jon.
All right.
There's a lot of money going towards that.
A Ganja Jon 0.5.
A small child for me to tell stories to.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
This will be.
You're gonna be like the #1 babysitter.
Fantastic. I'm all for it.
Yeah,
because I can give it back.
Yeah,
it's like, all right, I'm done with it.
Russ is just like me. We love other people's.
I've had my fun. Take it away.
Uncle Todd's going to teach him to ride dogs and skateboard. He's going to be like a cowboy by the time he can speak, or she.
I'll teach he or she to look shit up.
Yeah, look shit up on the internet.
There we go. Hey,
that is the modern day version of a genius, by the way.
Yeah,
how you access knowledge, not the retention of knowledge.
There you go. Absolutely right. Because anything you need's out there. Can you find it? That's the question.
Modern genius.
That's where my Google Foo comes in strong.
Yes, your Google
Oh, folks, thank you all for coming out here. This is awesome to have the big round table like this, and we'll do Wax Wednesdays as often as we can, and we'll get more people calling in. We'll do some Skype calls out maybe to some of these big dudes we know.
Absolutely.
I don't even
There's so many people like Brett Maverick is one of the guys up in Seattle. Derek from Colorado, from Pink House, that we've done a lot of stuff with. Rump Wax from Rumpelstiltskin's Extracts down in California. There's a million people we could talk to.
We'll have to do that.
I feel bad for not naming all my awesome friends.
Well, we'll have plenty of time to get them all on the show.
Yeah.
Wax Wednesdays. We're going to do it from now on as much as we can here every Wednesday on 420 Radio, starting at 3:45 Pacific, the last segment of Hour 1, and taking it into Hour 2 as we get progressively blasted.
And we do go to Permanent Comedy and watch Ganja Jon get his ass tattooed and talk about how and why all the things we talk about today.
There you go. All right, that's all the time we got. Thanks for joining us. Free weed. Danny Danko is next for everyone here at Rolla J Studios. I'm Radical Russ. And until next time, take care of each other, Toke.
This is the Russ Belville Show. The Russ Belville Show is blogging and podcasting daily at radicalruss.com.
You plant it, you grow it, you dry it, you roll it, you smoke it. You take a seed, you plant